The 60th annual Chicago International Film Festival takes place October 16th through the 27th. We've got a preview from festival programmer Sophie Gordon. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
This is so exciting. This is one of my favorite festivals, and congratulations on the 60th anniversary.
Thank you so much. We are so excited to be celebrating 60 years of the Chicago International Film Festival. It's a big year. It's already been a big year with lots of year-round programming, but as we're getting close to the 60th festival, the excitement is in the air for sure.
And we are kicking things off with August Wilson, the piano lesson. Talk a little. We're going to have some talent in town for that, and let's talk a little bit about opening night.
Absolutely. We're so excited to be presenting the film The Piano Lesson for opening night. This is a film this is a first feature by director Malcolm Washington. We're so excited to welcome Malcolm Washington and John David Washington, who stars in the film, to present the film with us at opening night. We're so excited to have them here. This film centers around the story of a family heirloom piano and kind of the disputes around what the family wants to do with it, whether to sell it or whether to hold on to this very important family legacy, and bringing up kind of ghosts of the past along with it. And so, like I said, this is a first feature from Malcolm Washington, and this is so just a really impressive feature debut. And we're so excited to be opening the film festival with this year.
I mean, we have a lot of filmmakers, a lot of talent coming into town. We have a tribute to Mike Myers, the comedian who obviously has a lot of ties to Chicagoland. But maybe talk about some of the films where we're going to see some of the filmmakers coming into the city.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I also wanted to highlight our closing night film where we will be inviting director Robert Zemeckis to present his new film Here, where he reunites the stars of Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks, and Robin Wright, in a very kind of innovative story, innovative forms of storytelling and filmmaking to tell the story of multiple families and multiple generations all taking place kind of within one room. And so this is a very exciting film. This is the third time that Robert Zemeckis has closed the film festival with a film of his. So we're so excited to welcome him back to the festival to close out the 60th anniversary.
I just think that it is so wonderful. I mean, do you have any insight as far as some of those conversations of him always just like loving to come back to Chicago to be able to kind of wrap up the festival?
I think there's a lot of excitement on his part. With such a long history with the festival, I think it's a really beautiful thing to be able to come back, especially for such an important anniversary. And I think the conversation with him will be really enriching and exciting. And so this is definitely one to not to miss, especially because his career has spanned so many different kinds of genres and kinds of filmmaking. And so this is a very innovative film, and we're excited to be able to talk with him about it.
And obviously, opening and closing are going to be at the Music Box, but these are going to be at theaters all across the Chicagoland area, some downtown, some in different neighborhoods. So plenty of areas to go ahead and check them out. Some films also have multiple screenings. So if you don't catch one night, go ahead and check the schedule because you might be able to catch it a second or first or second time. There's also going to be shorts, international, Black perspective, and then Outlook, which is our LGBTQ plus program, which you help. Jared, tell us a little bit about some of those films that we're going to see there.
I'm so excited about our Outlook program this year. This is a program that I kind of head up at the festival. I'm very passionate about LGBTQ and queer cinema. And we have a really incredible lineup in our program and competition this year. One that I wanted to start with highlighting is a really exciting world premiere that we have coming to us from Argentina. This is a film called Thesis on a Domestication, directed by Javier Van de Kutter, and co-written by and starring legendary trans actress from Argentina, Camila Sosa Villada. And this is a film that is an adaptation of a book that Camila wrote as well by the same title. And this is a film that follows a very successful trans actress as she starts to enter a more domestic moment in her life. And as she falls in love, as she gets married, and as she decides to start a family, she is kind of put up against the challenge of defining her life by her own terms and not succumbing to the narratives that so often other people write for trans women and expect of trans women, and instead kind of demanding a right to things like security and family and love, but also glamour and success and a life full of contradictions. And so this is a very, very exciting, this is the world premiere. that is happening on Saturday, October 19th. We're welcoming the director as well as a few members of the film team. And so we're so looking forward to having them here to present this film in our Outlook program.
That is amazing. Let's talk about some of the other films in the Outlook program, and then also maybe some with some Chicago ties.
Absolutely. So another one that I wanted to highlight, as you mentioned with Chicago ties, is Desire Lines. This is a film by filmmaker Jules Roskam, and this is a really exciting kind of, I would say this is a hybrid documentary fiction film that really employs masterfully filmmaking techniques from both fiction and nonfiction filmmaking that follows a trans mask protagonist as he decides to kind of explore via an LGBTQ archive kind of histories and interviews and all kinds of kind of storytelling other trans mask folks who are kind of asserting their right and their desire for other men. And so this is a film that's really getting into an underrepresented story that we often see in queer cinema, not only for trans mask but trans mask folks who want to be able to define their attraction by however they see fit, as opposed to, again, one of these trans narratives that's defying what's often imposed onto trans people by the rest of the world. And so this is a very, very exciting film with Chicago ties, and we have director Jules Roskam here in person. And at the first screening, we might have some other members of the cast and crew here as well. So this is very exciting to be finally premiering Desire Lines in Chicago.
What I love too about the festival is like you don't get these with, when you go to the movies on your own time, or maybe some of those blockbuster films, you leave, or you might, look on social media what somebody says. But I really love about the film festivals, you finish and everybody in the audience kind of, as you're making your way out, wants to talk about the film. This is kind of maybe the first time there's seeing a film or getting to see it months before its actual release, and people want to have those conversations. And it's kind of important to maybe to talk, but also maybe see some films that are out of your comfort zone. You might be looking to see certain films at the festival, but kind of open up your mind. I mean, there's so many wonderful, projects that are going to be part of this festival.
Exactly. And when I'm recommending films to people, I always really recommend that they choose something that they've never heard of before, or that might surprise them, that might be something that they wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards, because this lineup is really expansive. It covers so much ground in terms of themes and countries that it comes from and different kinds of stories being told. And so I always really encourage people, go see a film that you've been anticipating for a while, but at the same time, choose a few films that feel new and exciting to you, because there's so many hidden gems within this festival that I really want to encourage people to come to. And a lot of those hidden gems have their filmmakers coming in. And as you said, it's such an enriching experience for the audience to be able to not only hear a conversation with the filmmakers after the film, but also be able to participate in that conversation themselves.
Amazing. I have two films that I wanted to quickly mention.
Sure.
Better Man, that is Robbie Williams, one of my favorite pop stars. I've gone to Europe to go see him perform.
Amazing.
This is a crazy turn on a biopic where he's actually portrayed as an animal. So I'm so excited to see this. The director from The Greatest Showman is the one who's also doing this film. We get a screening of that. The film doesn't come out until end of the year or early next year, depending on what part of the country you're from. Definitely one to go ahead and check out. And then
Absolutely.
actually a friend of mine from Chicago, Rachel Seed, a photographic
Yes.
memory, a movie about her mom who passed away when she was very, very young. But she got to see some of these archive videos of her interviewing different photographers, and she kind of gets to know the story about her mom and travel around the world to interview people who actually know her to get a better sense of that. I am so excited for that film. I'm so excited for Rachel to come back to Chicago.
Absolutely. It's a really beautiful personal documentary. It's very striking. I was really emotional watching it. And as you said, Better Man 2 is so exciting. And these two films could not be more different from each other. But again, this is one of the joys of the program, is being able to see such a wide breadth of different kinds of films.
Yeah, as you can tell how excited I am. It's like I have the biopic, the documentary from Chicago, opening, closing, some of the programs in Outlook, and some shorts. And this is just a great time to get so much culture in this short period of time. So make sure you go ahead and get those tickets, because some of those screenings are starting to get pretty close to being sold out. So you want to make sure you get them sooner rather than later. ChicagoFilmFestival.com is where you can go and get them. Of course, starting October 16th and ending on the 27th.